throat a little itchy and I got cold and I don't know what the fuck going on right now. But let me just say this. Why do y'all men, and I'm just speaking in general, please don't take this offended and do not think it's about me. Why do y'all men feel that after y'all have had 7 or 8 kids and you've been messing with a woman who got 1 or 2 kids, and if they become pregnant, now you don't want no more kids after you had your 8 motherfucking kids? That's your motherfucking fault. That's your motherfucking problem. Wrap that shit up, tie it in the bow, tie it in the knot. It wouldn't shit come out. But my thing is, y'all need to have these conversations before y'all have sex.
Meant to be a joyful birthday celebration quickly turned into heartbreak when a Chicago woman was killed, an innocent bystander of a shooting that took place on Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
It took less than 30 seconds. 30 seconds for a lifetime of sacrifice and devotion to be extinguished by utter recklessness. Jessica Williams was a devoted Chicago single mother, an essential worker at a major hospital. She was killed not because of who she was, but because of a choice she was finally persuaded to make: a simple vacation. Jessica and her sister, Davona, were walking back to their hotel around 2:22 a.m. in the French Quarter. The warning came too late. They saw the danger. They heard Davona's plea to walk faster. But the change from verbal argument to fatal firefight was instant. Mekhi Andry, 20, and Dontrell Bradley, 19, didn't just argue. They opened fire. The street erupted. Gunshots were deafening, indiscriminate. The price of recklessness. NOPD officers nearby responded in seconds. They found multiple victims. Jessica Williams was among them, pronounced dead right there on the scene. She was killed by a stray bullet. Welcome to Unseen True Crime Stories, where the darkest secrets and untold cases come to light. Consider subscribing and tapping the notification bell. That way, you won't miss our next true crime story.
The celebration quickly turned into heartbreak when a Chicago woman was killed, an innocent bystander of a shooting that took place on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. 33-year-old Jessica Williams had to be convinced to take time for herself and celebrate her birthday. The single mother's focus was her 2 young children, according to cousin Cardasia Wells, who did not want to show her face on camera.
It's either work, my kids, or doing something with my kids. There's no in between, so she don't make free time for herself.
But Williams, the oldest of 4, decided it was time to celebrate. She, 2 of her siblings, her mother, other family members, and Wells went to New Orleans on Friday, planning to come back Sunday, the day of Williams' birthday.
That was the goal, to just celebrate her and my cousin too, because he had just graduated college, so we was going to celebrate the both of them.
Wells says it was around 2 a.m. on Sunday when the family was heading back to their hotel after a night in the French Quarter. Police say they interviewed 2 persons of interest and are looking for another man they believe is the suspect. They shared this picture with us. Meanwhile, Williams' close-knit family is rallying around her children, who are 7 and 5 years old, while supporting each other.
I thought I was going to be okay, and I thought that I can get past this one. I thought that tomorrow was going to get better, but I can't see it getting better.
Williams' sister is still recovering in a New Orleans hospital. She's expected to come home later this week.
That is the ultimate betrayal of public safety. A mother's life, a life built on relentless devotion to her children, was snuffed out. She was collateral damage in a chaotic street fight that had nothing to do with her. Her sister, Davona, wasn't spared. She was hit in the back. A bullet broke her rib and lodged itself in her breast. Imagine that agony. Being hit, screaming for help in the street, then seeing your sister falling on the ground face first. Davona was left injured, but her lasting trauma is the image of her sister's final moments. Forensics were clear. Only Andry and Bradley fired weapons. They turned a simple argument into a public execution zone. We know what happened, But the senselessness of the act is what generates the real outrage. The legal fracture and the defense. The case against the two shooters fractured immediately. Andry, who detectives determined fired first, was the primary aggressor. He was charged with second-degree murder. The state didn't need to prove he meant to kill Jessica. Under the doctrine of transferred intent, his intent to shoot Bradley was enough to hold him responsible for the death of the innocent woman caught in the middle. He started the shooting war. But for many, knowing the legal reasoning isn't enough. They watch stories like this and think, it won't happen to me. They believe knowing the danger is sufficient protection. So, if you're still watching but refusing to hit that subscribe button, go to the comments right now and tell us why. Seriously, give us your honest reason for believing you're immune. Are you willing to risk the next critical warning we uncover the one that might actually connect to your safety just to avoid clicking a button? The system had already tagged one of these men as a persistent threat. While Andry was the initial shot, the true ticking time bomb on Bourbon Street was the other shooter, Dontrell Bradley.
Good evening, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Meg Gatto. That shooting on Sunday claimed the life of 33-year-old Jessica Williams.
Chris Welty reports the mother prepares to bury one daughter while another recovers in a New Orleans hospital.
A heartbroken mother wants answers after her daughter Jessica Williams was killed while celebrating her birthday on Bourbon Street.
I want to know why.
Williams' mother, who asked us not to use her name, was with her two daughters and other family in the city.
We did our swamp tour. We ate dinner. My phone died out, so I walked back to the hotel room.
Williams' mother says she woke up when a stranger called her from her daughter's phone.
I hung up on the lady because I didn't believe her. And she called me back and told me to calm down. And I heard my other daughter screaming in the background, "Mama, Jessica ain't moving. She not moving." I ran all the way down there on Bourbon Street from the hotel.
Williams died hours after turning 33. Her sister was also shot and is hospitalized in New Orleans. Her mother spoke to us from her surviving daughter's hospital room.
Never imagine going on vacation and one of your kids not coming back.
Williams leaves behind a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. Her mother said her kids were her world.
She even said, "I got to get back home to my kids." I said, "Yeah, they're waiting to go to the dinner for your birthday." And she said, "We're going to have cake and ice cream when I get back."
Williams' mother had to break the news to her grandchildren.
There's something bad happened to her mother.
Whew.
And sure, I left her to take care of her like her mother do. And she broke down crying and said, "Why he take my mom?"
I can't say how sorry we are this happened, especially to someone from out of town who came in to enjoy our city and were faced with this, tragic incident. But the only comfort I can do for them, or consolation we can give them, is that the shooters have been apprehended.
Tuesday, NOPD announced the arrest of two men they say shot at each other on Bourbon Street and killed Williams. Police say Mekhi Andry was arrested Tuesday morning and Dontrell Bradley is in custody, but hospitalized because he was also shot. The NOPD says Andry shot at Bradley, who returned fire.
This should have never happened. This is senseless.
A GoFundMe was launched to support Williams' kids. Police say Bradley, the hospitalized suspect, is wanted in Texas on 2 probation warrants. He will also face a charge of felon in possession of a firearm from the Bourbon Street shooting. Andry is awaiting extradition from Jefferson Parish.
The tense, pulsating score continues, slightly dropped while Mekhi Andry faced murder charges for starting the fight. The spotlight quickly shifted to the other gunman, Dontrell Bradley. Jessica Williams' death was preventable. You have watched this story, so now you know the truth. You have 2 choices. You can scroll away and forget this tragedy, or you can commit to learning the lessons this channel offers. If you believe stories like Jessica's must be told, that her sacrifice deserves to be a clear, hard-hitting warning for every single one of us, then hit the like button now. And if you're serious about protecting yourself and your family by learning the hidden patterns of true crime and the systemic failures that allow it. Then join the community. Subscribe to Unseen True Crime Stories. Don't let her death be in vain. Let her story become your armor.
The suspect accused of opening fire on Bourbon Street and killing one woman is still on the run.
That's what police are saying, and we now know the person killed was a mother from Chicago. The coroner identified her as 33-year-old Jessica Williams. WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor live from Bourbon Street with what witnesses say unfolded.
Gita and Sella, what we do know is that Jessica Williams was in town celebrating her birthday. In fact, social media posts from that night show Jessica with money on her clothes along the street, having the time of her life before it was sadly taken away.
I don't visit Bourbon, I don't go on Bourbon, any of that, because it's always something on Bourbon.
Strong words from a mother who says one of the most popular streets in America is the home of crime she wishes she didn't witness. Sunday morning, Jay says she was riding on Canal Street when all of a sudden traffic came to a standstill. She got out of her vehicle to see what was happening.
And once we got out, we saw the victim's sister that was shot. She was shot in her back. The two police officers walked her up from Bourbon to Canal Street. And once she got to Canal Street, she kind of collapsed.
Jay says she ran over to see if she could assist.
She was screaming for them to get away from her, to help her sister, to save her sister, that they were from out of town.
Then,
after they got her into the ambulance, then we seen the second victim. He was covered in blood. He looked lifeless, just limp on the stretcher. It was a very, very, very traumatic experience.
Jay says she went home shaken up, later finding out the extent of what she saw. New Orleans police say 33-year-old Jessica Williams was shot and killed while celebrating her birthday in town from Chicago, her sister included. It is believed Jessica and her sister were innocent bystanders, and that a fight potentially led to the gunfire.
Well, that's definitely scary, especially for your birthday. Like, you're out here to try to have fun, and that's the last thing anybody wants, especially coming out of the group.
This man seen with a gray and black hoodie is believed to have pulled the trigger.
Something needs to happen to ensure that the tourists that come from out of town are safe here, because after a while, nobody's going to want to visit New Orleans.
And not much is known about Jessica other than her traveling from Chicago, also being a mother. I should also note that a lot of people who live and work in this area tell me they're still trying to get over the terror from the terror attack on January 1st. So this rattled a lot of people. If you do know anything at all that could lead to an arrest, you're being urged to contact Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. Reporting live from along Bourbon Street, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
Suspects are in custody following the death of a Chicago woman in New Orleans. 33-year-old Jessica Williams was shot on Bourbon Street. That happened over the weekend, and she was the mother of two. Police say that one man was taken into custody this morning, this in connection with the shooting, and a second suspect is in the hospital after being shot himself. Police say the two men fired shots at each other, and Williams was an innocent bystander.
With her parents standing behind NOPD leadership Tuesday, the assistant superintendent announced two men had been arrested for the killing of Jessica Williams.
This should have never happened. This is senseless.
Police say Williams was killed early Sunday morning, caught in the crossfire of two men who were shooting at each other on Bourbon Street. Police say 20-year-old Mekhi Andry started shooting at 19-year-old Dontrell Bradley. Police say Bradley was shot and then returned fire.
I can't say how sorry we are this happened, especially to someone from out of town who came in to enjoy our city and were faced with this, tragic incident.
Family members say Williams was in town celebrating her birthday with other family members. Two other people, one of them Williams' sister, were injured. 2 hours before that shooting and not far away, a man was shot and killed on Loyola Avenue, close to City Hall.
Many members of City Hall came in to find that they had bullet holes in their windows, and my office was one of those.
Those weekend shootings were part of a larger discussion during the City Council's Criminal Justice Committee meeting.
It is incumbent upon us that as we take the steps to try and fight this most recent uptick in crime, that we support NOPD and support their intelligence gathering.
Along with that, Councilman J.P. Morrell pointed out failed efforts to make Bourbon Street a gun-free zone.
Part of the reason why this council and our legislative delegation fought so hard for a gun-free zone on Bourbon Street was to not have guns on Bourbon Street.
Assistant Superintendent of Police says banning guns on Bourbon is up to lawmakers and that police can only enforce current law.
That is something, if you ask us, we would like to see, but it's beyond our control.
According to the Metropolitan Crime Commission, last week was the deadliest week in the city since the January 1st terrorist attack, with 8 homicides. Even so, violent crime is down compared to last year. Mike McDaniel, WWL, Louisiana.
For the 2 men arrested in the Bourbon Street shooting, Andry is expected to be charged with 1 count of second-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder. Bradley will be booked on 2 probation warrants and being a felon in possession of a firearm.
Thank you for watching.